In today's video, I'm going to be test painting this random spare piece of metal that's part of an old case. And I'm gonna prime it, and then I'm going to paint it black. I'm gonna see how it turns out. And if I like the results, then I might end up painting Loki completely. Okay, so the first coat looks like it went on. I know the lighting here, since I got the garage door open, probably makes this hard to see, but I think the first coat went on really well. It's been about 40 minutes. And now I'm going to put on matte black, Krylon Fusion. It actually has paint and primer in it, but per recommendation from Discord peoples, I did a primer first. All right, it's been about 30 minutes. I can touch it, it's dry enough. So now I'm gonna apply a second coat. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Looks freaking horrible. God, that sucks. I mean, look at that. This is 3 coats right now. It's dried to the touch. Yeah, completely dry. You can just, tell like where the spray path was. I didn't think I got it too thick when I was doing each coat, but no matter what I did, you can still tell, and it looks like crap. Basically, I really kind of want to get this done and make it black and make it look good. So I'm gonna go to Home Depot and get some paint, because I got some primer, some paint from Lowe's, and it was just more of like a test, like 1 bottle each. So, I didn't get any sandpaper. I'm like, hopefully I won't need it, etc. And now I'm just kind of like, maybe I should have sanded it, Maybe I should have put the primer on and then sanded it, then put more primer on, like paint it the right way, I guess. But I was kind of hoping not to have to do that, because I really don't want to do that. But I guess in the long run, if I paint everything on this case, the insides I'm probably not going to have to paint. So, or I'm probably not going to have to sand. I'll have to sand just the outsides, just because that's what will look the worst if I don't. So, yeah. Just got out of the shower, got dressed, and I'm going to go to Lowe's. It's fun. Let's take an adventure. Two boxes of paint, some miscellaneous stuff. Hopefully I got enough primer. Shouldn't need that much primer. I think I'm gonna need more black paint. Some acetone to clean it up, some tack cloth, some razors. Don't think I'll need that, but I do have an idea with the board, which might be a surprise if it works. I don't know if it'll work, but got 1000, 2000 grit, and then some neon green spray paint. So if I need more, I can come back, but I think 2 cans should be good. Especially because I'm just going to use it for some accents, I think. So I don't need a whole lot of it. I have this problem where I have 4 terabyte drives that I've just recently started obsessing about replacing. And there hasn't been a Western Digital sale in a long time for shuckable drives, so I kind of felt like a little neglected. Now they have it, and now I keep buying the damn things. So I just went to Home Depot. I'm going back to Best Buy. I went yesterday after work, and I actually already bought 3 yesterday, and I have 2 on the way. So that's 5 drives that I got this time around. 5! That's stupid. Now I haven't spent money on hard drives in a long time, which is what I'm using to rationalize the stupidity of my purchases. But I checked online before I left, just out of curiosity, and it said they had 3 in stock. So I don't know if it's the 3 that I bought yesterday that they haven't updated yet, or if they actually have 3 in stock. And I'm not saying I'm buying 3, because I just spent $150 stupid on paint crap. So, yeah. Oh my God. There's 3 of them in stock. Look at that. $279 for a 12 terabyte. $159 for a 10 terabyte. Thinking I'm just gonna have to do this. I know you're supposed to wait longer to sand it, but I had to prove to myself that you did by trying to sand it with 1,000, even though it's only been drying. It only dried for like an hour, hour and a half, something like that. So I did a quick sand on it, which of course went horrible because it's not all the way dry. Then I sprayed another coat on it, kind of from a far distance, probably from almost this far away. As far as, let's see, I was like right here. So it was kind of a far away spray, hopefully to get a little bit more even coat, but obviously I just did it. So it looks really, really bad right now. So what I'm gonna do is let this sit until probably midday after lunch tomorrow, and then come back, take a look at it, see what it looks like. And then also I did a test spray paint on some neon green. So that's what that looks like right there. Kind of a interesting color, but that's what I chose. So I have an idea, and that is this flat piece of board right here. Basically, it's like just a little, whatever it's called, not cardboard, but whatever. This side is flat, right? Super flat. So I'm thinking if I can cut this out, maybe cut this in half or whatever, and then I can cut out and bite my bits in it, and then lay that down on the server case. Once I get like the actual server case painted, I can lay that down on top of it or whatever, and then spray paint white, bite my bits on top, and then even with that neon green that I'm gonna use for accents, have a little, you know, Maya in front of it. So I can just like spray paint out my logo, basically is what I'm going for. So that's my thought. I don't know if I'm gonna do that. I have to figure out how well it cuts, and then if I can trace out my logo. Basically, if I can trace out the logo and make it look good, then I might do that. So there's a lot of ifs, and this project is taking forever. I could just build out the 3900X in Loki this weekend, not paint anything, but I'm just taking this the extra step, and it's dragging the feet on it, so to speak. But I do like the green. It's basically like that green. I like bright green. I hate vomit green, but I like neon green. So, you know, B&B green. Gotta embrace it. This is like, I don't know, the 4th coat. So this is after I sanded it. I spray painted it, and it's dried for like an hour. You can still see like dark spots, you know, like I don't know if it's still wet, but some of these, like that looks really good. If you look at that, like that looks really good. But as a whole, that looks kind of blotchy. So what I'm gonna do, since I have the space heater right here, due to some recommendations from Discord, is I'm gonna hook up a space heater. Look at that. And then maybe I'll set it right there. Set that right there, point the space heater at it. I'm gonna let this bake for probably a few hours before I go to bed. But you can definitely see it there again. That was those little black splotchy spots. I'm hoping it just needs to cure or whatever more to get rid of that. But who knows? Either way, I'm gonna bake it. So last night, I don't even remember if I talked about this, but I got all this taken apart last night. Played a little bit of Mario Kart, and then just started taking all the server stuff apart, just breaking it down. I got parts everywhere, and I'm trying to be as civil as I can with my labels here, so I know what screws go where. I could probably figure it out, but I'd rather make it just a little bit easier. Here's the power supply. So that's interesting. I didn't want to mess with that anymore. I figured it doesn't have to be colored, at least not right now. But here's the thing. I went to Lowe's, or not Lowe's, Home Depot. And as you know, I bought a bunch of stuff, painting, like, you know, spray paint and primer and stuff like that. So last night I was dealing with this. I was dipping it in acetone on the front here because it had a full faceplate like sticker that would not come off. So I dipped it in acetone, dealt with that like over and over and over again until finally I got it down to where it was sandable. And then I took it in and I sanded it, which, okay, that's neat, right? Now it's clean-ish. But the problem that I have now is that sanding is a big, ginormous pain in the ass. So I got other stuff in here that I'm gonna wanna sand, right? probably with 1,000 grit, somewhere around there, lightly, just to make it paintable because my last painting job didn't turn out really good. And I realized how much I hate sanding. So I am going to go down to Home Depot and I'm going to get a sander. And it's like 11:30. Wait. Yeah, it's 11:30 right now, which is early for me on a Sunday. I usually wake up noonish, 1-ish, somewhere around there. So I figured, why not just get the ball rolling, get this going, right? And get this project going. The existing thing has not turned out really well. I'll show you. Here you can see the bath that I made to soak it, right? Took some tin foil, put a bunch of acetone on it, like cyan, and I just dipped it in there. And I let it sit for like, I don't know, an hour at a time until it just broke down all that gooey gunky stuff. And it didn't work right away. So I ended up doing like 3 or 4 times until finally I felt good enough to sand it. So this is the end product for my little test, right? As you can see, it's kind of blotchy. It's not terrible, I think, in this lighting, but when you look at it just the right way, there we go. Look at that. Look how bad that looks. Look at that. I am terribly afraid that the case is going to come out looking like this, which sucks. I really hope it doesn't. Which is why I'm focusing now on sanding. I like the way it looks, but just not blotchy. I want to get it to look like this, all of this, and then not this. So I'm giving up on this. I'm just going to accept this as a failure. And I'm just going to assume that I can make the case better. Hopefully. You know, with sanding. If I really think about it, I'll only have to do most of my sanding on the outside, you know, because that's the side that you can see. Like on the inside, especially like on the bottom, that's going to be underneath the tray, does not matter. I mean, sides, maybe a little bit, but the bottom on the underneath the tray, I don't even know if I have to paint it, but I will. I'm just saying, it does not matter how that looks. It's the outside that's going to take a lot of sanding. So, is Jason going to want to like manually sand stuff like this? No, it's not going to happen. It's a little bit like masturbation without the payoff. Wow. Home Depot, they do not, and at least the chick that I got, they do not like the price match stuff. Like I walk up, I'm like, I got this DeWalt sander, right? Check that out. Got a little 20-volt sander. You know, I'm not even mad about buying this. I know that all this cost for painting is going up, but I've wanted a sander for random projects, just never had it. So since I'm part of the DeWalt ecosystem, it's only, you know, normal or expected for me to get this. So yeah, so I go up there and I'm like, hey, this is on Amazon for $104. Who do I talk to about getting it dropped down, because you guys have it for $130? And she's like, we can't do that, we only price match with brick and mortar stores. I'm like, okay. She's like, if you can find it at Lowe's for $104, I can price match it, but it's only brick and mortar stores. I'm like, okay. Well, I looked it up while I was in the aisle, and it says that online purchases qualify. I can show you real quick. It specifically says price plus shipping, not any kind of blowout sales or going out of business sales, but like, you know, an actual website, and you'll price match. So your website says different. Then she kind of like grumbled or whatever. She was like, okay, let me look at it. I'll go verify for you. Like, okay. So then she goes back behind the counter of the customer service, and it's like I don't understand the mentality here. You know, I'm not taking money from you. I'm asking for the company that you probably work for barely over minimum wage for to, you know, price match and basically just do what they say they do on their website, you know? Like, other people price match. I could have went there, but I went here. Price match is a thing. It's like sitting on her computer like, come on. So then, after she obviously looked it up, found out that yes, I can get this for $104 per the website, she like handed it off to somebody else and like grumbled something at them and then just like stomped away and went off into somewhere else. And then this other lady was like, okay, so I guess I'm ringing this up for you. Like, she was like fucking insulted that I was right, and she knew that she couldn't throw a fit because I would just pull it up and say, look, this is your website. I don't know why this is a problem. Like, I don't understand that. Like, if the company you work for wants to sell something for a discount, whether it's a price match or a sale, like, why get all bent out of shape over it? I mean, it doesn't make any sense whatsoever. I also got a space heater that'll go on top of a propane tank. So that's nice. And I forgot a propane tank, so I need to get that. I think I could probably get one from somewhere. But I do have one extra one, so I guess I could technically just burn through that. And then if I need another one, which I will, I go refill it. But either way, it's getting cold. All right, so here is the taken apart case. It's pretty smooth. I don't think I need too much, but there's like a lot of little cleaning stuff that before I spent a bunch of time on the other one, just like using alcohol and Goo Gone and stuff like that to get the stuff that's stuck on it, which isn't a whole lot, but it's just stuff that, it's just a lot. Some of this I could probably peel off, but they had tape all over this crap. So, see that? See that? Should peel as much as this. I tried to peel as much of this off as I could, but it's everywhere. My idea here is that I'm just gonna use, I think this is 220 grit, and I'm just going to, sand it. I mean, if I'm gonna paint this, might as well just sand it. This is 220. I have 3 something and 400. And then I also still have my finishing sandpaper if I need to, but I'm gonna try, actually I'm probably gonna flip it over and try the other side first, just see if I screwed up too bad. Yeah, see, if I screw this side up, it's not that big of a deal because this isn't really gonna be visible anyway, so. Maybe that would have just been better with Goo Gone. All right, got a little bit of acetone actually. Look at that. I don't know if acetone eats through plastic, but I know it doesn't eat through the tin foil, or aluminum foil. So, let's see. See, look at that. Look at that. It's kind of working. Ooh, those fumes. I am seriously cleaning this shit, and I'm just thinking to myself, the only thing holding me back from wanting to powder coat this, especially if I do just all black, right? All black powder coat is probably less than $100 because they do black all the time, and they're like, oh, we'll just throw it in with the batch, So it's nothing to them, freaking nothing to them. But the only reason why I'm not doing powder coat is because of the screw holes. That's literally it. That's the only reason. It's just screw holes. So I am seriously half tempted to take another trip down to Home Depot or Lowe's, probably Home Depot because it's closer and I'm really tired of going to Home Depot. But I'm really just considering at this point going to find some spare screws and sticking it in all the screw holes and saying screw this, because I mean, I'm like halfway done, I think, maybe a little over halfway done prepping stuff. Like, look at this, look at that, right? I got junk everywhere. I'm like just cleaning this, got that left, got all that stuff done. I think I have a little bit more left downstairs, but at the end of the day, it's like, I don't know if I'm gonna make this thing look good. So it's kind of a little worrisome, I think. I think while I'm talking, I'm gonna put some Goo Gone on this. Just cover that. See if I can wipe those off. Goo Gone can be nice sometimes, but sometimes it doesn't when it's that thick. Like you kind of have to scrape it off and then go at it. But the risk is it looking like crap. I'm not gonna do it right. I'm in a horrible environment. I bought a heater, a space heater, but I'm looking at the temps. It's supposed to get down to like mid to low 20s in the next few days. So, you know, I can obviously wait until it gets warmer again, but I don't know. Everything just kind of leads back to, you know what, Jason? Screw this. Just drop it off at the place, right? Tell them you want it black. Tell them you got it prepped. You know, for the most part, prepped. I think they do something to clean it, but tell them you got it basically ready to go. Have the temporary screws in there, and just say you accept what they said with the screws. Like when you have screws, it's gonna powder coat the whole thing, so you're gonna take the screws out and it's gonna break it or whatever. But you know what? That's only around the screw holes, and I can touch up paint it if I need to, if I have to. But for right now, I'm just really thinking, screw this. Well, that was a multi-hour adventure, but I think I got everything cleaned up. All these parts that I want to, well, now I want to go get powder coated. The only problem I see is this right here. Like, this thing has like this little thing here. So I don't know how, because there's no way for this to be like taken off, right? I want this powder coated black, even though the front's already black, but I didn't sand it or do anything with it. But I'd like for that to get powder coated, and I'd like to sand this down, but that would basically require ripping these off. And I don't want to rip these off because, I mean, they look useful. So I guess I could rip them off. I mean, after all, I don't need them. I guess it doesn't matter if I rip it off. I just feel bad doing it. Like, I'm mutilating it. What if these are useful for something? Underneath, like this is where the back plane is for the hard drives to sit into. So this, like, will slide out of the front of the server like this. So if you want to, you know, mess with just the back plane, then you don't have to take out a bunch of other stuff. So it makes it a little bit easier, but I don't really see this being something that I need to worry about, because if the back plane goes down, the last thing I'm gonna be worrying about is the 5 seconds it takes to remove the rest of the shit. So, you know, I'm kind of just thinking I want to rip this off, because this is the only concern I have, aside from having to find screws to put in each one of these, that I don't care if they're powder coated over. That way I can just go and break them off and take them out. That way powder coat doesn't go in those threads and mess everything up. So yeah, check this out. So someone actually sent me a big bag of screws, which I'm like, I don't know what I'm gonna use those for, but now I need disposable screws, ones that aren't actually meant to go here, but I need to fill the gap or fill the holes. Where to go? So this big bag of screws is actually coming into usefulness right now. Look at that. It's perfect. Basically, I've definitely landed completely on powder coating. I'm just gonna tell them, I don't care how this turns out, I'll figure it out. And I can use a Dremel with like a brush or whatever if I need to clear out these. So whatever this turns out, I don't really care. I'll figure it out. But all these other screw holes to put the case together, I definitely have to make sure that these are covered, because I don't want to have to fight the entire case not being able to screw stuff in, because that would really suck. Woo! I spent most of the day doing this stupid crap. Like legit, like about since 11:30 this morning, I started venturing off, cleaning stuff, sitting in the garage, dicking around. I finally got to a point where I think I'm good to go. And that's what I got right now. So everything you see there is all the extra parts, of course, the internals, or, you know, it's just parts. And then that right there is the big part. So now I'm just gonna load this beast of a machine shell into my Mustang, hopefully, if it'll fit. And then sometime over the next couple days, I'm going to take that to the resident local powder coater people. And I forget what they're called. I forgot what their name is, but it was like #1 on Google. So that's what I'm gonna do. Started to get a little cold, so I was turning on the space heater, closed the door because woo, it's getting brisk outside. But so we got the 2 top plates, the main / back plates, all of these. Oops, that sucks. So this, and this are where the hard drive slot into. So I'm really kind of hoping a powder coat doesn't mess with the spacing. That's one thing I'm worried about. These are the trays. So I touched base on those a little bit earlier today. I'm just going to drop those off. This is in the front of the case, like where the fans are in the front. And then that and that are what are in the middle for the middle fans, including those 3 brackets. I think those 3 brackets actually go to the front, but this is all random shit. I mean, I don't know, like this piece right here, I forgot what that piece goes to. I mean, it is what it is. I'll figure it out. But then we have an SSD cage, a hard drive cage, and I don't know what that is either, but I'll figure it out. Basically dismantled AF. And what took a long time actually was going through and putting all these damn screws in everything. I went through and used a lot of spare screws actually. So I had what I needed, surprisingly enough, to get screws in everything. And there's no open screw slots, at least that I could tell. I might do another check, but as far as I can tell, there's no open screw spots. So all this powder coating stuff should be able to just not get in the threads, hopefully. I kind of lined everything out because I did take a picture of all the parts. So when I go and pick it up, I can be like, oh yeah, you know, I need to make sure I got all these parts. So 1, 2, 21, 22 parts. I wanted to make sure I had them all because, like, what happens if I, you know, go and pick it up and then they're like, they forget this. I don't even know what the hell this goes to. I know, I think, but I don't. So they forget this, and then I go to put it together, and I'm like, hey, it's not working. And then come to find out, it's because they didn't give me all my shit back. So I want to make sure I got all my stuff before I leave. It's because y'all need to find my parts if y'all lost them. Y'all heard me? I thought about this before, like I said, and I was hesitant, one, because I was like, this is gonna be a pain in the ass. And it was. I've dedicated many, many hours to this. Sanding, lacquering, or not lacquering, whatever, acetoning, cleaning, buffing, torquing, all kinds of things to get this going, taken apart. And it's also going to delay my build to my 3900, which I really, really, really wanna do. Just to get Loki up and running. So, but once I get this powder coated, I can throw the 3900 in there. 3900 is air cooled, so I don't have to worry about any kind of liquid or any kind of cooler or anything like that. I have everything I need basically to build out Loki. And I even have a 1.6 terabyte cache drive that I could use for cache now. Oh, damn. Okay, so one of my awesome Patreon subscribers donated a 1.6 terabyte. That's right, 1.6 terabyte Intel SSD. It's a PCI Express. So I am excited to have that as a cache drive, and that's about what I was thinking for my cache drive size, which was 1.2. I was thinking 2, but either way, I think this is gonna hold me over. It's gonna be a lot better than what I have, 500 gigs right now, which I've run into issues with. I don't think 1.6 terabytes is gonna be too limiting as far as me copying stuff over. For the most part, aside from big YouTube data dumps, which is a thing, for the most part though, I should not hit that wall. And if I do, I could always swap it out later to a standard like 4 terabyte 2.5 inch or something, or maybe a PCI Express. I don't know. Either way, I got a lot of stuff, a lot of things that I can put together as soon as I get this powder coated. And I don't know how long it's gonna take, but kind of excited now that I got all the work. Yeah, I cannot even imagine me trying to paint this stuff. There's no way. And a lot of that stemmed from like the more research I was looking into, like the more research I did, the more I just think I don't have the patience for it. Because like you have to apply your primer, you have to let it dry, you have to let it dry long enough to let you sand it, then you have to sand everything, and then you have to do another layer of primer because your first layer is now kind of gone, and then you have to sand it again. So no. Look at this. I got some stuff over here, like cases of paint. I got that little heater there that I was gonna use, propane heater. I was gonna try to use that to warm things up, you know, because that thing is tiny. I was gonna try to use that to warm things up. That was not gonna happen. So I'm gonna return that. I got a few things to return, basically just paint and that big board there, which I've decided against using to try to cut out a logo and spray paint. Instead, I'm just going to use vinyl probably and just like a sticker. It makes way more sense. But I'm gonna return some of this stuff and then hopefully get some of my money back because I spent a bunch of money on this stupid painting crap. But you know what? At the end of the day, I test painted one panel from a different computer, right? It didn't turn out great. It was a learning experience and I didn't really burn that much time painting it or that much money. So at least I tried, I know now, and I might tackle or spray paint something in the future that's smaller, but when it comes to this, no, just powder coat it. Let's just hope for the best. Yeah, look at that. A little bit of sand work there. You can kind of see it there, kind of a little burned, but there's like stickers and a bunch of crap on there that I really wanted to work out, and it looks a lot better than what it did, but you can kind of tell. I don't really care. This is underneath the tray, so I'm not really terribly worried about it. But the tops look pretty decent. I guess it looks pretty bad on camera. I don't know. I'm not gonna return everything from this adventure because I've wanted a sander and now I have a DeWalt sander. I got DeWalt everything else, so it would be stupid to try to return that, especially after I used it and it was useful. So I'm gonna keep it. But that stupid freaking heater thing that goes on top of the propane tank right there, that was like $85. And I just don't have any use for it. I was gonna use it to try to warm up the garage, but really it burns through a propane tank in about a day. So I guess that's pretty decent, but unless you really need it, do you really need it? Big question is though, can I fit that into my Mustang? Oh yeah, look at that. That fit easily. Not even a sweat. Oh, 13 minutes. Dang. I'm at 99.2% on this rebuild. And that is with my latest 2 10 terabyte drives added. I have a few more 4s to go. Ugh. That puts me at 180 terabytes of space. 180. But I have more because I'm dumb and buy dumb things. Oh, there you go. Let's see. What is this? What is this? What is this? What is this right here? I don't know. Let's see what this is. Let's see what this is, guys. Let's see what this is. Just trying to cut this with one hand. Come on. Come on. There we go. I just want to cut you open and look at your insides. There we go. One-handed shuck. And it is done. I've determined which ones I'm going to take out and replace. So I got disc 6 and disc 12. I've also located them in the array by basically browsing the files over here and then like copying those and then just seeing which one lights up. Very basic. Either way, here we go. Gonna stop it. Boom. And one down, one over. Should be that one. And then 4 down. Should be that one. There we go. There we go. Screwing with one hand. Oh shit. Okay, let's try setting the phone on the table and then doing it that way. Because I almost dropped my drive. That would have really, really, really sucked. Okay. Let's try that again. There we go. Riveting content. I know. Oh, yeah. Look at that. Look at that. I'm so close to 200. I can smell it. And I only have 4 terabytes left to replace. And much to my own personal credit card disappointment, I have 2 more that are coming in on Monday that I originally ordered. I bought all these other ones this weekend. So I will be replacing 2 of these 3. And then I will just have 1 lonely 4 terabyte drive left to make all of my drives 8 to 10 terabytes. So that'll be nice. And it'll put me over the 200 mark. But it'll probably bug the crap out of me because I'll have just 1 4 terabyte left in my array. So I don't know if I talked about this in the last Patreon video, but I am planning to do a little micro build. I was actually going to do it sooner rather than later, but I ended up spending money on all the hard drives, so it'll probably be a little bit delayed. But I want to do a micro ATX build, right? With the 3700X that is not featured where my finger is pointing. It's actually on the table over there, sitting by itself, not being used whatsoever. So I want to use that because I already have it. I'm going to have to figure out with this micro case, it's basically a NAS size case, but just tall enough to house 8 hard drives. So think about this, a micro ATX with some kind of a weird M.2 expansion mini SAS breakout adapter, maybe 32 gigs of RAM, a SSD, an NVMe SSD, and 8 hard drives. Now, I'm going to be using all of my old 4 terabyte Western Digital Red drives, so it'll be, what is that? Actually, you know what? I don't know if I'm gonna run FreeNAS or not, so I might only have the usage of 6 drives. So it'd be like a 24 terabyte, array if I have 2 drives being used for parity with FreeNAS. Just because, balling on a budget, why not? I'm not against FreeNAS, I just prefer Unraid, so I don't know. The downside to this little micro build is that literally there's nowhere to put, at least with what I'm gonna put in there with the P2000, that P2000. But if you do build this thing or someone else builds this thing, there's absolutely no way to have a 10 gig networking card in it. So that's kind of a downside. That's not a humongous downside. I mean, not everyone has or wants 10 gig networking, but it is just, one of the things that I look at now. It's like I love having my 10 gig connection directly from my main computer to my server. So even though I don't have a 10 gig switch, it's nice having that direct lane, that direct highway, so to speak, connecting to my main computer. So that's nice. You won't be able to do that with this little micro build, but it's going to be a Ryzen build that could range, I actually haven't even worked out the price range, but you can get like a 3500 or whatever, 32, whatever, however low they go, all the way up to the 3950X if you want to. So the price range could vary depending on how much money you want to spend on the processor, but the build is going to include a P2000. So, realistically speaking, this little micro build is going to be able to do 28 streams or whatever my P2000 testing was. So it's going to be a very powerful little micro build. And I'm really just building it out for the sole purpose of making a video about it. It's actually the first build that I just want to make a video about, and then I have no idea what I want to use it for. Also, it's a lot of trying to reuse old parts type of deal. So it's hey, I already have this stuff. Let's try to use that to make this little video build thing. So I don't know how soon I'm gonna do it, but I'm kind of excited. A little micro build is gonna be cool. For my aspect, I think that if I make this ultimate build guide that anyone can follow, that if it actually works, if the thermals are good, if the the performance is good, If it actually works, anyone can follow. They can have the super small, you know, your hard drive space is up to however many terabytes you want to use, but the super small, super powerful micro ATX server build in this NAS thing that is powered by a Quadro, you know, P2000. So if I can get it to work, and maybe not, but if I can, it might be a super awesome build guide for somebody who wants to build a very small, but yet very powerful Plex or whatever server. But if I make the build guide and people follow affiliate links to, let's say, Amazon part picker stuff, then, you know, get some affiliate money on that. So, you know, maybe in the long run, it could pay off as like a super, you know, awesome little affiliate link clicker trap, you know? I don't know. Actually, I think I made a Plex guide, like build one. I just paper built one a long time ago. Seemed like it gathered a little bit of interest, but you know, I never really paid that much attention to it because it was just building on paper. So this one I want to actually build it, actually test it, actually get footage of it and be like, oh, this is awesome, or okay, this is dumb. Who knows? Well, guys, that is it for October's Patreon video. Hopefully you liked my little adventure of painting. I'm thinking I'm gonna drop it off tomorrow morning if I can set my alarm and get up early enough. They open up at 7:30. If I can meet them there at 8, and then I can leave there by 8:30 and then still get to work. So that'll give me 30 minutes. I gotta be there by 8, and I could talk to, I think, Jordan, whatever his name is up there, and kind of tell him what I want to do. But I want to get everything powder coated, thin layer. Hopefully it doesn't mess up the server build, because that would really, really suck if it messed up the server build because of, you know, size, fitment, like clearance issues. So there are a couple people mentioned that on Twitter. So hopefully that's not a thing. Either way, whether it's tomorrow or the next day, one of these mornings, I'm gonna get up a little bit early. I'm gonna run down it to that place, and I'm gonna talk to them about getting a powder coat. But the good thing is that since I'm doing all black, it should be a lot cheaper, because they're like, we do black all the time, and we'll just throw yours in the mix. So, you know, they're already running the machines and the sprays and all that shit. They already got someone in there. So they're just like, it'll be somewhat cheap just because we're already doing it. So hopefully that'll be true. Although I do have a lot of tiny, small parts that might be kind of annoying. So we'll see how that goes. Either way, guys, thank you for watching. As always, thank you for being awesome Patreon subscribers. You guys are awesome. That's all I got. Thank you. Have a good day.